Hello internet, hello friends, it's Kaz. Welcome to your monthly appointment, this little video where I present to you each time the best releases, the best upcoming PC games for the coming month. And well, here we're going to talk about January 2025. It's a new year. Once again, Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you've had time to see my video 2025 where I made a small point about the future of the channel, about projects, about the schedule, and also about the secondary channel. I insist, subscribe to the secondary channel that has just been created. It takes 3 seconds, link in the description. You will notably see gameplay discoveries on some of these new games from January 2025 to help you make a choice to see if there are games you might like before buying them at full price. In any case, you will find all the games I will present to you in the description. You also have the written format available on the blog casamania.com to find them on the site. Friends, here are the best upcoming PC games for me. An adventure game, a survival game, a Bud Light hell in which you will climb. As high as possible on a tower, we are in a science fiction atmosphere. You will have to fight hordes of enemies. Freedom Wars Remastered will be released on January 10th. It's a remaster of a game that was released on PlayStation Vita, a JRPG, a Japanese RPG in which you play a character who is imprisoned for life in a futuristic sci-fi prison, and to have any hope of escaping one day, you'll have to embark on formidable missions. A really nice game with that distinct JRPG style that I love. If I have the time, maybe I'll do it. On January 14th, Hyper Light Breaker will be released, a game that can be played solo but also cooperatively. A game in which you will play as heroes, adventurers who will explore vast open worlds, collect loot, evolve. So there is a very role-play aspect in the construction. What really attracts me to this game is that colorful, shimmering artistic direction that makes you want to have a good time in the evening with friends. On January 15th, Aloft will be released. Aloft is a game I have already shown you several times in various demo phases, various test phases, a game I played solo but also cooperatively, and a game I greatly enjoyed, and I am very happy to see it released on January 15th, 2025. It is a crafting, survival and building game. We are all quite classic but very fantasy, except that here you will fly on islands that float, that fly, and you can build boats, airships, you can soar, even attach islands together or make them sail. In short, this game had me very much more during its beta phase, and I am happy to see it officially released. On the 16th of January, a AAA title called Assetto Corsa EVO will be released, a racing game, a car game, which is really very simulation oriented. You are in one of the most simul of the market, the most demanding, and I think that the major real interest of this title is being made with the master control adapted, such as a steering wheel, pedals, etc. And I think that with these conditions you can really fully enjoy everything that the game has to offer. It can be played solo but also in multiplayer. If you have the right equipment and you're a fan of car simulations, it's a must-have. On January 16th, Blade Chimera will be released. It's a Metroidvania type game with horizontal scrolling set in a very cyberpunk, very futuristic universe. In short, for those who like the style, it could be very interesting. On January 17th, Tales of Greece 8th Remastered will be released, which is simply the remaster of a Tales of. You know, the Tales of series is a whole series of Japanese RPGs, JRPGs that always have this quite clear, quite pastel graphic parts, quite nice, quite childlike actually, but each time there are stories that are engaging, stories that can be mature, that can be adult, and we always connect with the characters. The great strength of all the Tales of games is that they have amazing stories with very endearing characters. So if you like this style of game, this remaster is likely to be a hit. On January 17th, one of the big names of the Muso style will be released, namely Dynasty Warriors Origins. So, Muso, what is it for those who don't know this style? It's simply the kind of game where you control a rather strong character who will fight in a melee, in epic battles where hundreds or even thousands of troops will clash, and you will unleash blows. You will slash and kill your enemies left and right while trying to inspire your allies. It is the kind of game where you have truly epic battles every time with enemies appearing all over the screen. It is a game that is played solo. And it's really a legendary franchise that has existed for many years and years. On the 22nd of January, Under Magnolia Bloom in the Mist is leaving early access, a game that has been available, as I mentioned, in early access for a while now, at least 6 months, and will come out in an official release. We are talking about a Metroidvania 1 2D RPG which blends dark fantasy, which combines a rather dark, mature atmosphere while featuring rather kawaii characters. You will play a character trying to save their kingdom, calming tortured spirits in the depths of the kingdom. As you know, this game is already available in early access. It will be released in version 1.0 and the reviews are extremely positive. Attention, upcoming hit, maybe on January 23rd, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will be released on PC, which is not exactly the remake of Final Fantasy VII, but is a kind of the second part of Efika remake. So Efika Rebirth will resume Cloud's adventure once he escapes from the city of Midgard and begins to explore the surrounding desert. So we're at this point in the story in a remake in a game version of 2025. Anyway, it looks completely crazy. For me, FFC was one of my first games on PlayStation 1, and I won't hide that. If I have the opportunity, I will present it to you in a discovery gameplay video. On January 24th, Synduality Echo of Ada will be released, a game that might be interesting for fans of the extraction genre, because yes, we are looking at a PvE extraction, but instead of having classic soldiers who will infiltrate cities or contemporary territories, here you have mechas that will battle each other and try to gather loot and extract alive. To improve their machine. The concept is really interesting and I can't wait to see how it feels when the controller is in hand. Attention, MMORPG on January 24th. If it's not delayed, the Quinfall will be released in early access. The Quinfall, I've already talked about it in a video. I made a video dedicated to presenting the title to you. I shared a bit of my opinion, my doubts, but also my expectations, and it can be really interesting. Really very interesting if the objectives put on paper manage to be transcribed into the game. Anyway, we will have the answer on January 24th, and rest assured I will present gameplay video on the channel. On January 27th, Star Wars Hunters will be released, a new free-to-play game that I introduced to you some big month when it was in open beta phase. We are on an arena fighting game, a free-to-play brawler arena that is playable in crossplay, in cross-platform. You will play heroes from the Star Wars franchise in a universe that is quite colorful, quite cute. It reminds me a bit of Fortnite in character design with ultra fast matches, 3 to 4 minutes maximum. There are different game modes, capture the flag, punch control and so on. You can of course collect and upgrade your heroes. On January 28th, Eternal Strongs will be released, an action game, a fantasy adventure game in which you will play as a woman who is capable of manipulating the environment, to manipulate the elements and play with everything around her to hunt epic enemies in a true open. The game should be quite interesting, playable solo, at least on paper and with good ideas. On January 28th, Tales of Iron 2 Whisker of Winter will be released, which is simply the sequel to Tales of Iron, which was really a hit when it was released. It is a rather difficult side-scrolling action RPG, Souls-like type, in which you play as a kind of rat, a big mouse basically, trying to defend its kingdom. It's ultra addictive, ultra difficult, but there you go, it's the kind of game where you're always happy to finish a level because you sweated tears. On January 28th, Orcs Must Die Deathtrap will be released. Without needing further introduction, the Orcs Must Die, I feel like there have been 10 that have been released. It's a tower defense type game, but seen from a third-person view, playable solo, but in co-op. It's really in co-op that it's the most fun. The idea is, of course, to defend his castle of invading orcs and other skeletons. For that, we can set traps, but also directly control his character during the assault and defense phases. On January 28th, Warside will be released, a game completely inspired by Advance Wars, a game I used to play back in the day on the Game Boy Advance, a tactical RPG, turn-based, which was just magnificent, where you were in charge of defending your territory. It is a game that combines turn-based strategy, but also real-time on a map and a little bit of diplomacy. There is a whole story with colorful, endearing characters, and despite the somewhat retro graphics, a little bit pixelated like that, there is a lot of charm, I think, that emerges from it. In short, it also plays on the nostalgic fiber. It is a game that can be played solo solo in cooperation, but also in online PvP. On January 30th, Sniper Elite Resistance will be released. Similarly, that's a license we already know, there are many. The new one arrives on January 30th. This time, we will play a character from the French resistance who will continue to decimate Nazis with his rifle. Sniper, we are still on rather large open maps which give us plenty of possibilities regarding how to accomplish the missions. And finally, we end on January 30th with a major AAA. It's the arrival on PC of Marvel's Spider-Man 2. I had presented the first one back then in a gameplay preview. I quite enjoyed that title. I do not usually plan for single player action games at all, but honestly I really like the first one a lot. I think the second one will be in the same vein. In short, what joy, what pleasure to be able to play Spider-Man in a vast open world, to be completely free in a bustling city full of life. So friends, that concludes the major PC releases for this month of January 2025. As you could see, there is still many titles to come. Tell me in the comments which games you are looking forward to the most. In any case, you can find them all in the description with an instant gaming link to get them at a discounted price. So take advantage of it. I insist, come to the secondary channel, come and subscribe. You will surely see some of these new games in Discovery gameplay videos. To help you form an opinion quickly about a game before buying it, I'll see you very soon at the next one. Have fun. Thank you very much for your thumbs up, share, subscribe. This was Kaz. See you next time.